Have you ever stood in a shower so hot it nearly burns, just to feel something other than the static in your head? That noise. That endless, circling, frantic noise. The rehearsals of tomorrow's conversations, the autopsy of yesterday's humiliation, the terrifying, formless dread about a future that hasn't even chosen its weapons yet. You are so tired. But your mind is an engine that won't shut off. A cinema with a broken projector, looping the same frightening previews on a screen made of the back of your own eyelids. This isn't thinking. This is possession. And somewhere, in the quietest part of you, a question whispers, why does the very thing that makes me feel like a curse? This feeling, this profound alienation from your own inner machinery, is what the great psychologist Carl Jung dedicated his life to understanding. Not as an illness, but as a signal, a desperate Morse code message from a part of you that you've been taught to exile. You see, we are not born feeling cursed by our own consciousness. We are taught it. We are trained into it. Every time you were told to stop overthinking, to just be positive, to stop being so sensitive, a wire was crossed. The brilliant, intricate, perceptive circuitry of your mind was labeled a problem to be solved, rather than a language to be learned. So the mind, this incredible instrument designed for meaning-making and pattern recognition, turns on itself. With no external mystery to solve, it starts reverse engineering you. Your fears become its case files. Your hopes become its unproven theorems. It paces the cage of your skull, looking for a problem, and finding only itself, it becomes the problem. Jung called this the shadow, not a monster under the bed, but the entire basement of yourself that the bright lights of your conscious identity refuse to illuminate. Your anger, your pettiness, your secret grandiosity, your raw, unfiltered need. We stuff it all down there. But energy cannot be destroyed. So what does it do? It seeps. It warps. It projects. That vague sense of being judged by everyone, that's your hidden critic, loaned out to the world. The person who irritates you beyond all reason, they're wearing a costume stitched together from the scraps of your own disowned self. Your mind feels like a curse because it is haunted by the ghost of the person you were told you shouldn't be. But what if I told you the key isn't to quiet the mind, but to follow its worst noise straight to the source? What if your most persistent anxiety isn't a flaw in your wiring, but a forgotten piece of a map? Let's talk about the loop. The thought that circles at 3 a.m. It's not random. It's a symptom. Imagine you have a splinter. A deep, tiny one. You don't see it. You just feel a throbbing, generalized ache in your whole finger. Your brain's pain signals are screaming, finger. Finger is the problem. The modern world solution? Numb the finger. Medicate the finger. Distract yourself from the finger. Post an inspirational quote about loving your finger. Jung's solution? Find the splinter. That looping thought, the one about your career, your relationship, your worth, is the throbbing. The splinter is the disowned piece of you calling out from the dark. Maybe it's a creative impulse you've called impractical, a vulnerability you've labeled weakness, a righteous anger you've packaged as drama. Your mind circles it because it's trying to get your attention. It's saying here, the ache is coming from here. The curse is not the mind's activity. The curse is our lifelong training to misinterpret its signals. We think the goal is peace, a flat line of emotion, a blank, serene screen. But Jung's psychology suggests the goal is wholeness, a vibrant, sometimes chaotic, symphony of all that you are. The anger given a voice becomes conviction. The sadness given space becomes depth. The fear listened to becomes caution. The mind isn't a tyrant to be overthrown. It's a messenger you've been gagging for decades. So how do you start? You don't begin by trying to fix everything. You begin with a simple, almost absurd act of treason against everything you've been taught. You get curious about the curse. Next time that wave of anxiety hits, instead of fighting it, you ask it, with genuine, quiet curiosity. What are you for? What are you trying to protect me from? Don't analyze. Just listen. The first answers will be nonsense. I'm protecting you from failure. Okay. And what's behind that? You're not having a therapy session. You're an archaeologist gently brushing sand off a strange artifact in your own soul. You'll be shocked by what you find. That professional anxiety might be the ghost of a 10-year-old you who just wanted his father's approval, now dressed in a suit, screaming about quarterly reports. That relationship jealousy might be a forgotten part of you that never felt chosen, now trying to control love as if it were a hostage situation. And here's the uncomfortable truth no one tells you. Integrating your shadow isn't about becoming a nicer, lighter person. It's about becoming a more real one. You will discover capacities for darkness you didn't know you had. You will feel envy, pride, a desire for power. The goal isn't to act these out. It's to stop wasting all your energy pretending they aren't there. The energy you use to repress your pettiness is the exact same energy you could use to fuel your passion. This is why your mind feels like a curse. It's holding up a mirror to the person you actually are, and you've spent a lifetime being taught to only look at the portrait of the person you're supposed to be. The gap between those two images is where the torture lives. But what if you could lower the mirror? What if you could, piece by terrifying piece, meet the cast of characters in your own inner theater? Not to praise them all, but to acknowledge their presence, to hear their lines, to stop exiling them and start managing them. The critic, the child, the saboteur, the hero, they all have a role. A mind at war with itself is a curse. A mind that has met its own inhabitants, that is a council. A democracy of the self. The static doesn't disappear. It finds its channel. The noise doesn't vanish. It becomes a conversation. So tonight, when the scroll feels hollow and the silence feels too loud, try something different. Don't reach for the distraction. Sit with the curse. Ask it one simple question. What part of me have I forgotten that you are trying so desperately to remember? The answer won't come as words. It might come as a memory, a sudden image, a feeling in your chest. That is the splinter. That is the ghost at the door. And acknowledging it is the first, bravest step in turning your haunted house into a home. This isn't the end. It's the threshold. And the journey from curse to counsel is the most important one you will ever take. It asks everything of you, but it gives you back something infinitely more valuable, your entire self. I want to hear from you. In the comments, tell me this. What's one splinter, one recurring, nagging thought or feeling that you're now, just maybe, willing to get curious about? Don't tell us the story. Just name the ache. The fear of being forgotten. The itch of invisible resentment. Let's see the map of our collective shadows. It's less lonely when we see each other's ghosts. If this resonated, if it felt like a key turning in a lock you forgot was there, then you're ready for the next part. The next video is about what happens after you meet your shadow. It's about the most dangerous and beautiful word in Jung's world, individuation. It's about how you stop being a character in someone else's story and start authoring your own. It's not an easy path, but it is yours. And I'll be there to walk through it with you. See you in the next one.